Alpha One Drop Zone presents Honoring Our Veterans, a series of interviewing our military veterans. Our purpose is to reconnect our country with our veterans and our history.
Hello, my name is Steve Gonzalez, Alpha One Drop Zone, Vice President, Marketing and Community Relations. We're here today in our training room with a special guest. Her name is Florine Seeley. Florine, first of all, thank you for your service.
Thank you for asking me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, and I've known you for years, Florine, and glad you're here today. Florine, you were a WWII recruiter in Chicago during World War II, and I just want to we'll talk about that in a minute or two, but I just wanted to read one of the documents that you had in your paperwork when you came in today. I would like to read it if it's okay, Florine. It's to Florine Andrus, that was your maiden name, right, Andrus? It states, to you who answered the call of your country and served in its armed forces to bring about the total defeat of the enemy, I extend the heartfelt thanks of a grateful nation. As one of the nation's finest, you undertook the most severe task one can be called upon to perform. Because you demonstrated the fortitude, resourcefulness, and calm judgment necessary to carry out that task, we now look to you for leadership and example in further exalting our country in peace. And it's signed Harry Truman from the White House. Well, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And thanks for sharing that, Kareem. It's greatly appreciated. I know like anyone that joins the military, you have to go through training. And of course, you were trained in Oklahoma, right? You went to Oklahoma as one of your first places for training.
No, I left Oklahoma. My first place was in Des Moines, Iowa.
Oh, Des Moines, Iowa. Okay,
I went to Kansas City to sign in, and then they sent me there to Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay. At Des Moines, that's where you pretty well learned. Was that your basic training? You went ahead and learned all the different.
Yeah, there. Then they sent me to Chicago. Then they sent me way down in Texas. Where was that?
Okay, Fort Houston.
Fort Houston, Texas, for some more training. Then I went back to Chicago to work with the recruiters.
Okay, let's talk about that, Florine. I mean, that sounds like an awesome job. Being a recruiter. They had confidence in you that you could recruit. Women in the military.
Yeah.
So can you give us an idea of the process?
Well, we had an office downtown, a big office there, and then people that wanted to join the WWII, the Women's Corps, would send their information in there, and then they would give it to me, and I'd have to go to their house and interview them. And I knew that town, every street in that town, because I've been all over, and we went to have the best and the worst. I went to one house, the lady wanted to join the WWII. She had a little baby, didn't even have bedclothes on the bed or nothing like that. I don't know why she wanted to come, and then you go someplace else and they were just fabulous. I saw it all, from the best to the worst.
So basically you just made the decisions, meeting the people.
Well, I would interview them and then bring them to the office, and then we take it from there.
Yeah.
And then we give them, if they were accepted, then we give them their physicals, and physical is something else. We learned a lot from the physicals. You can't believe how people come in here and what conditions they come in.
Right, because you have to be fit, to be to serve, so forth.
They were. We didn't laugh at them because it was, but you can't believe some of the ways some people come in there.
Now, some of the recruiting, you mentioned you go house to house, meeting people and so forth, and also you did some recruiting on the radio, is that right?
They have you do some on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Basically,
Yeah,
it was like on the radio you just told them like where
to go, and what we expected of them, and what we wanted, who we wanted to come in, and it's kind of like that.
Did you enjoy being
I liked every bit of it.
Did you?
I enjoyed every person I met, good or bad. They were all serious.
That's
They
good.
were all serious about coming in, but you can't believe some people we went through we had to turn down.
So that all took place in Chicago?
That was in Chicago.
All the recruitment?
Yeah, all my recruitment was Chicago. And I was in a lot of meetings, and I can't tell you everything because I don't remember, but there was a lot of meetings in Chicago.
I can understand. Well, that was a vital, important part of the war recruiting, for the military.
Yeah.
So you did have a very important job, needless to say. So all your training and expertise, really helped doing that.
Yeah,
So how long were you in the military?
3 years.
3 years in the military? And all this time you were with the Women's Army Corps, right?
Yes, and from after I got through recruiting, they sent me to Detroit, Michigan, to work in your office up there. I can't remember the name of it, but it was, I was up there for quite a while. We lived in barracks up there.
Well, great.
We all had barracks.
Yes.
In fact, when I was discharged, I thought I had a few things. I had a little barracks back in the corner in my room by myself. I mean, in the barracks room. So, hardly be there. So when I got discharged, I thought, well, I had a few things to do. I just stayed there, and I came home one night, and there's a note on my door. When you discharge, you're supposed to come home.
So they expected to come back.
It was available, nobody was using it, so I just did my run around, and I came home, there's a note on there, when you're discharged, you're supposed to come home.
That's interesting. I know, Florine, you brought in your uniform to share with us, so that is neat. I mean, it is in great shape. I mean, we're talking back in the 40s, right? 1943 or somewhere in there.
Yes.
And
I can't find the hat, and I can't find the shirt, I don't know what happened to it.
yeah, but it's in excellent shape.
It is.
Can you tell us what rank were you?
I was probably first class for quite a while, and then I went to they made me a sergeant, and then I don't know if I should tell you this or not, but then it was going to make me a lieutenant and send me overseas. I was engaged, and his man wouldn't let me go overseas, so they didn't promote me.
Well,
I should have told that on the line.
but anyway, everything worked out though, right?
Yes.
Everything was working out.
Real good. I shouldn't have said that.
That's fine, that's fine. So, did you meet certain officers while you were different other women that served in the military while you were as a recruiter? Did you make contact with a lot of other women that served?
I did, but I couldn't remember their names. I worked with quite a few women, and when I recruited, go out to these homes, I had to take a sergeant man with me, a military man.
A man went with you?
Because I wasn't allowed to go by myself, and because you never knew what you was going to get into when you went to these homes. And I can't believe why we had to go to the homes, but we did.
What made you join the military, Florine?
That's a good question, I don't know.
Is this something, you had opportunity to do it, so you just took it?
thought about it, and well, when I got out of high school, I went to California with my aunt and uncle up there. I just took off and went up, and then I come back when the war broke out. I was in California, and that's when it started, and we had to put all of our lights out at night. We couldn't have no lights on in the house as long as we had blankets over the windows. So I said I didn't want to live like that, so I came back home to Oklahoma, and then I thought, well, I'll just join the Army. It was really weird and scary in California at that time.
I can understand, especially with Pearl Harbor, being out west in the Pacific, part of the United States, I could probably understand.
Yeah,
going on.
Couldn't have no lights on. We had to put blankets and everything over the windows if we had lights on. That was for a while, so I came back home. Then I decided to join the Army.
Yeah. Well, how did it change your life by joining the Army?
Well, I was really pretty outgoing. And then I went back home and I thought, well, I'm going back to Chicago and go to special school for TV things. And I got there and started working and met my husband, so I never did go.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they gave you a lot of experience, a lot of confidence in what you did. I mean, you can probably go into a lot of different administrative jobs when you came back.
I had a lot of experience, I'll tell you that, in my service.
Yes. Well, that was a very important part of the war, is recruiting, of course, and you were a vital part of it. So, Florine, thank you for your service again.
Thank you.
And God bless you for what you've done, and appreciate your friendship also.
You're likewise with you.
Okay, well, take care, and God bless.
Thank you. God bless you.